Our message this morning, uh, we're moving away from all that we've done so far. We don't have a series right this moment. I still have one more message on James. You may get that next week. And then we'll be beginning a Lenten series real soon, and I'm still working on what that's going to be. But what I want to talk about this morning is come and see. Come and see. We're reading from John chapter 1, beginning with verse 43. The next day, Jesus decided to leave for Galilee. Finding Philip, he said to him, "Follow me." Philip, like Andrew and Peter, was from the town of Bethsaida. Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." "Nazareth? Can anything good come from there?" Nathanael asked. "Come and see," said Philip. When Jesus saw Nathanael approaching, he said of him, "Here truly is an Israelite in whom there is no deceit." "How do you know me?" Nathanael asked. Jesus said, "I saw you while you were still under the fig tree before Philip called you." And Nathanael declared, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus said, "You believe, because I told you I saw you under the fig tree. You will see greater things than that." He then added, "Very truly, I tell you, you will see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." That's God's word for us, God's people. Have you heard the story of the young woman who wanted to go to college, but her heart sank when she read the one question on the application blank? That one question said, "Are you a leader?" Being both honest and conscientious, she wrote, "No." And she returned the application, expecting the worst. To her surprise, she received this letter from the college. "Dear applicant, a study of the application forms reveals that this year, our college will have 1,452 new leaders. We are accepting you because we feel it's imperative that they have at least one follower." In our text this morning, Philip comes to Nathanael, and he proclaims that "I found the one that Moses wrote about. He's Jesus of Nazareth." We don't know what expression Nathanael had on his face when he responded, but I think it's probably safe to assume that it was kind of a cynical sneer. Can anything good come from Nazareth? Can anything good come from Nazareth? And Philip said, "Come see." You see, the church has some of the same problems, does it not? The church is often full of people who are sure of themselves. We may even get to the point where we believe very little of what we're told. We sit back under the fig tree with the sneer of Nathanael and we say, "Can anything good come from Bethel? Can anything good come from our Sunday school? Can anything good come from Bethel Methodist women? Can anything good come from having a vacation Bible school?" People come in and out of the church with a critical eye. Skepticism is not a modern virtue. Doubting Thomases have been around since the dawn of time. Is that not true? By nature, we don't want to be led, do we? We want to lead. But in the church, it's imperative that we have followers. We need leaders in the church, yes, but we also all need to be followers. It's imperative that we're all followers, is it not? Nathanael learned this. He was skeptical, but he was transformed. He became a follower because Philip invited him. So let me ask this. What was it that Philip saw in Christ that moved him to follow him, that stirred him so much that he went and invited his friend Nathanael? Come and see what? What did Philip see in Jesus of Nazareth? I'd like to attempt to answer that question this morning. Come and see what? First of all, Philip asked Nathanael to come and see souls redeemed. The day before, Andrew had followed Jesus. And Andrew went out and did what? Invited Peter, right? Philip went out after he was asked to follow. He went out and he invited Nathanael. There were 8 others who would become Jesus' inner circle, 12 in all. And that was just the beginning. Because you see that 12 became 70. The scriptures tell us that was the outer circle. The net of redemption that was cast was very large, even for those days. Hundreds of people were soon following Jesus. Today, souls are being redeemed in South America and Africa at 10 times the rate of North America and Europe. Church's work isn't done yet, is it? The church is exploding still. But it was Andrew who made the first invitation to his brother, and to Philip, who made the second to a friend. They were watching as people began to place their lives in the hand of the Nazarene. They listened as Jesus spoke to people in a way that made them understand their lives better than they understood themselves. They had seen souls redeemed just as they had seen their own redeemed. So when Philip asked Nathanael to come and to see, he knew that Jesus would redeem Nathanael as well. Come and see, he said. Just come and see. That's all I ask you. I know that every Christian in this room believes that God can redeem a soul. You've seen it happen. You've seen it happen in your lives. You've seen it happen in the lives of others. So my request of you from this moment forward, if you're not already doing it, is live like Philip. Go out. Ask somebody to come and see. Invite them to Bible study. Invite them to Sunday school. Invite them to worship services. Invite them to church activities. It's like the story of 2 robins sitting in a tree. One robin said, I'm really hungry. The second one said, me too. Let's fly down and find some lunch. They flew to the ground and they found a nice plot of plowed ground full of worms. They ate and ate and ate and ate and ate till they couldn't eat anymore. I'm so full I don't think I can fly back up the tree, said one. Me either, said the second. Let's just lay here and bask in the warm sun. Okay, said the first robin, so they plopped down, basking in the sun. No sooner had they fallen asleep than a big fat cat snuck up and gobbled them up. As he sat washing his face after his meal, the cat thought, I love Baskin Robbins. There's a point to that. Will we be people who have eaten so much of God's good food that we sit and bask? Are we going to be people who have received so much of God's good food that we're going to sit and bask? Or are we going to invite others? Will we go out of our way to say to people, come and see? That's all I ask. Just come and see, and you will learn that something good can come from Nazareth. Wouldn't it be a wonderful thing if each one of us, at least once a month, invited somebody else to come with us to see, to come to church, to come and see? Wouldn't it be wonderful if come and see became a natural part of our life and our relationships? Secondly, you see, Philip asked Nathanael to come and see the lives transformed. Long before Frederick Buckner was a well-known Christian author and Presbyterian minister, as a young man, he sat in the dead of winter in army fatigue somewhere near Evanston, Alabama, eating supper out of a mess kit. The infantry training battalion that he had been assigned to was on bivouac. There was a cold drizzle of rain. Everything was mud. The sun had gone down. He was still hungry when he finished, and he noticed that a man nearby had something left over that he wasn't going to eat. It was a turnip. Now, some of you love turnips. I'm not a turnip fan. Turnip green's okay, but turnips themselves, I'm not a fan. Anyway, it was a turnip, and he said, if I could have it, can I have it? And the man tossed it over to him. Well, he missed the catch, and the turnip fell to the ground. But Buckner picked it up. He wanted it so bad. He picked it up, and he started eating it anyway, blood and all. He said he had a transforming moment, and he describes it this way. As I ate it, he said, time deepened and slowed down again. With a lurch of the heart that is real to me still, I saw suddenly, almost as if from beyond time altogether, that not only was the turnip good, but the mud was good too. Even the drizzle and the cold were good. Even the army that I had dreaded for months. And he concluded, sitting there in the Alabama winter with my mouth full of cold turnip and mud, I could see, at least for a moment, how if you ever took truly to heart the ultimate goodness and joy of things, even at their bleakest, the need to praise someone or something for it would be so great, you might even have to go out and speak of it to the birds of the air. Luke 19 says what? Even the rocks will cry out. Philip had his moment. A moment I like to call a muddy turnip moment for Philip. A moment with Jesus that transformed him. A moment where joy flooded into his world and made him want to go out and speak to somebody else. Tell somebody else about it. He found Nathanael. Now, you can probably understand Nathanael's skepticism. Look what Philip is asking him to believe. He tells him, I found the one that Moses wrote about in the law and one of the prophets foretold. Sounds a little bit too fantastic for Nathanael. You really can't blame Nathanael, can you? Jesus doesn't. He recognizes his doubt. He helps him along. And Nathanael is transformed. I saw you while you were under the fig tree before Philip called you, Jesus says. Jesus got his attention. Nathanael is shaking in his sandals. Rabbi, he said. Nathanael has his muddy turnip moment right here. He says, Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. But that wasn't to be the only moment. There were more to come. Jesus said, you believe because I told you I saw you under the fig tree. You're going to see even greater things than that. Jesus was saying, come and see, Nathanael. That's all I ask. Just come and see. And you will learn something good can come from Nazareth. Third thing, Philip asked Nathanael to come and see. Come and see the heavens opened. Come and see the angels of God ascending and descending to the Son of Man. These are the words that Jesus said to Nathanael, and he and the other 11 disciples spent the next 3 years living and ministering with their master. And they saw the heavens open. When Jesus was baptized, they saw the heavens open. When Jesus was transfigured, they saw the heavens open. When he fed the 5,000, when he fed the 4,000, they saw the heavens open. The spread of that bread. When Lazarus was raised from the grave, they saw the heavens open. They saw life brought from the dead. When Jesus died, the heavens closed and grew silent. But the stone, the heavens opened when that stone was rolled away. Jesus stood before the disciples behind that locked door. They saw the heavens open. The Lord redeemed that day. Redeemed you, redeemed me. And he will continue to redeem all of those that we invite to come and see. Let me close with the story of a man with 2 umbrellas. His name is Dr. Gordon Targeson, a Baptist preacher in Worcester, Massachusetts. He was crossing the Atlantic by ship many years ago. He noticed on several occasions a dark-skinned man sitting on a deck chair reading a Bible. One day, Dr. Targeson sat down beside him and said, forgive my curiosity. I'm a Baptist minister. I notice you're a faithful Bible reader. I'd like to meet you. After introductions, the dark-skinned man said, I am Filipino. I was born into a good Catholic home. I went to the United States as a young man to study in one of your fine universities, intending to become a lawyer. The first day on campus, a student dropped by to visit. He welcomed me. He offered to help me in any way he could. And he asked me where I went to church. I told him I was Catholic. He explained the Catholic Church was quite a distance away, but he sat down and he drew me a map. I thanked him and he left. Following Sunday morning, it was raining. I decided I would just skip church. Then there was a knock on my door. There stood my new friend, and he was carrying 2 umbrellas. He said he worried I might not be able to read the map, so he said he would escort me to the Catholic Church. I hurriedly dressed, thinking all the while what an unusually thoughtful person he was. I wondered what church he belonged to. As we walked along, I asked him about his church. He said, my church is just around the corner. So I suggested that we go to his church this Sunday, and then we could go to mine the following Sunday. He agreed. But somehow I felt so much at home in his church that I never got around to finding mine. After 4 years, I felt that God was leading me into the ordained ministry rather than the law. I went to Drew University Seminary. I was an ordained Methodist minister. Then I returned to the Philippines to serve in a Methodist parish. My name is Valencius, Bishop Valencius, Bishop of the Methodist Church in the Philippines. The hero of the story is not the bishop, important though he is. The hero is that anonymous young man with 2 umbrellas. Whether they ended up at the Methodist Church or the Catholic Church doesn't really matter. Go all the way back to the beginning of Christian history. You'll always find him. He's behind almost every Christian convert. That unnamed man or woman with 2 umbrellas. That person with a winsome faith who builds a bridge of friendship with another person. Across that bridge walks the living Christ and claims another eternal soul. I want to close by saying this. You can be like Philip. You can be that person with 2 umbrellas. Come and see. That's all I ask. Just come and see, and you'll learn that something good can come from Nazareth. That's our challenge, is to go out of here and ask somebody, just come and see. That's all we have to do. Come and see. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lord, somebody at some point asked each of us to come and see. Maybe it was our parents who said, come and see. They may have just said, you're going whether you want to or not. But we had the opportunity to see. Lord, for each of us, it may not be, we may not have been brought up in that home where we automatically went to church. We may have been lost in that big old world out there, and somebody said, come and see. And we came and we saw. And we found out that there is a better life that's offered to us, that Christ can change our life. Lord, help us not to be Baskin Robbins. Help us, Lord, to be the one who goes out and says, come and see. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of times when they say, well, I might come, or thank you for asking me, or don't bother me again. But Lord, if we do our part and say, come and see, then Lord, the changes that will happen in our world, the changes that will happen in our church, the changes that will happen in our community are absolutely unbelievable because you change lives.